guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Sophie and I'm a traditional artist living in the southwest of England. And here on YouTube, I document my small business journey. I've documented opening up my Etsy shop, turning my traditional art into largely stationery-based products and art prints. I've also documented joining physical shops, online marketplaces, which I'm just about to do, and also running our own in-person markets as well as attending other people's markets. And today, this is another vlog documenting our own personal markets. So if you want to know the full backstory, please go and watch my previous vlog from last summer, where I documented myself and my husband starting our own art market here in our hometown. So I documented the whole logistics, like finding a venue, finding vendors, and all those kind of things. So if you want the full backstory, please go back, because I'm not going to obviously repeat myself because I don't want to bore you. But for this video, I am going to document the process, the prep, and the market itself for our summer market this year. It's currently Saturday, the 4th of July. We're busy next weekend, so I can't do the prep next weekend, but in 2 weeks' time, on Saturday, the 18th of July, the market is taking place. So I need to do my prep for my own stall, because I will be having my own stall as well as obviously running the market itself. Although my husband does all the legwork on the day so I can stay on my stall and chat to people. That is the difficulty when you have your own stall, but you're also running the event itself. And then also we need to do all of the marketing. I've already designed the poster and the flyers, but we need to distribute them. So I'll probably take you along for that as well. So today, the plan is to get together the stock. I normally outsource my art prints now. I was using a print on demand service, but if you watch my last year vlog, you know that I'm using my print on demand service for my Etsy shop. But on this new online marketplace that I'm joining, Kingdom Marketplace, I'm going to be outsourcing my prints and still packaging them at home. But they haven't arrived yet. So for this art market, I've got some paper left when I used to print my prints in-house. I'm going to use up that paper because I might as well, because it was expensive paper. It's like this really nice textured archival paper. So I'm going to use the rest of that paper to print up some more prints, because I've made a decision, because I'm having to split my stock like 3 ways now: in-person markets, Etsy, and Kingdom Marketplace. I've decided I'm not going to take any of my stationery to this in-person market. Just because obviously I'm just setting up Kingdom Marketplace. I don't want to get into the issue of not having enough stock. So I'm going to focus mainly on art, just art for this market. I also have some handmade crafts that I just do in my hobby time. Because this is the thing, when you make a small business out of your art, suddenly your art doesn't become your hobby anymore. So I've got other creative outlets. So I've made some candles, I've made some decorated some bottles and things like that. Obviously stuff I wouldn't sell on Etsy because of postage, and obviously it would confuse my kind of small business vibe. So I'm going to have that on my store as well. But the star of the show is I want to be the art prints. Because if you watched our vlog from last year, you'll know that in order to try and bring more families into the market, we had a petting zoo outside the venue. So this year we've done something different. We're inviting Birds of Prey Centre to come. They're a charity, so it's great exposure for them, and for a small donation people can hold birds of prey. So I think they've got some falcons coming, some owls, and I do have some owl prints, so I want to try and print some more of those off, because hopefully they'll sell, because there'll be owls outside. So yes, so we've got to do that. I always have a spreadsheet behind the stall that I document the sales as we're going, and then I kind of compare that against my my card reader and my cash flow, just to make sure it's all matching up, so I can kind of have a running total of where I think we are. It's always nice, isn't it, once you get past the point where you've made your table money back and all those kind of stuff, you're into profit. So yes, I will document that today, getting all the prep ready. I'll bring you along for marketing, and then I will bring you along for the market itself. And as always, at the end of the market, I'm completely transparent about stats and how much we made or how much we didn't make. So I will document all stats at the end. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is our third market now, second summer market, but obviously we did a Christmas one as well. So third market running it ourselves in total. Hopefully it's going to be a great event. It's pretty much a carbon copy of what we did last summer, because it worked so well. We've got a lot of the same stallholders coming back, which is like a great compliment that they want to come back and do another market with us. We've got some new small businesses joining us as well. We're going to be offering cream teas. My husband's put together a lovely playlist of music to be, in the background, creating a really nice atmosphere. We've planned for the market to go on the same day as a local circus in town. So hopefully there'll be a really big buzz around the town. And so I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so that's the prep pretty much done for today. I did try and print off some new art prints, but although I could get it to print in the end, my printer just kept doing these lines on there. That one's not quite as bad. The other one was worse. Even when I did a printer clean, it was still coming off. So, and this is why I outsource my prints now so that I can ensure the quality. So unfortunately, Lion Cub won't be coming with me to the market, but I have like quite a few prints that I printed off before and for other markets. So I still have plenty to go around. So yeah, so everything's packed up, and next job will be getting the advertisement out. So I'll be putting it out on social media, posters, flyers, that kind of thing, I'll take you along. Like I said, I've already designed the poster, so it's just getting it printed and getting it up and about. And next time I chat to you might be the market itself. Like I said, I'll bring you along for the whole day, try and capture as much as possible, and then I'll give you my thoughts afterwards and all the stats. guys, it is now the day after the event. I am absolutely drained. If you have ever attended, let alone attended, a craft fair or an art market or anything like that, you know how draining it is. Being on your feet all day, talking to people is as much as enjoying as it is talking to people and sharing the story about your art and your business. It is so draining, let alone running the event itself. My husband and my dad went down the night before to put the big tables out. So on the morning of, all we had to do was put additional small tables for the refreshments and the chairs and things like that. So yeah, if you're thinking of running your own event, bear in mind the setup time. So if you haven't watched my previous video from last year about me setting up these markets, this is our second year of running markets in our church. We run the markets, but we do it predominantly to raise money for our church. However, I also have a table at these events. It's not totally selfless. We're also doing it to also provide kind of a platform for my own art as well. But we do it voluntarily, and we use the church for free because we're raising money for free. So if you're trying to start your own art market, you're going to obviously have to think of a venue hire as well on top of all your costs and potentially insurance. Sorry, I didn't get much kind of footage yesterday. I was going to try and get more of the market, but when you're trying to run your own stall and be on top of all the problems with other people, because there's always going to be hiccups and things like that, and stuff going on with members of the public, you know, you're the safeguarding for all those members of the public as well. It's going to be busy. So I didn't get much footage, so I'm sorry about that. However, it was a good event. Was it a great event? Probably not, but I'll speak to you about reasons for that. But it was a good event. So we decided to have it inside. If you watch my previous vlog from last year, you know we planned to have it outside for our summer event last year. But it rained on the morning of the event, so we had to move everything inside. This year we thought, you know what, we can't deal with the stress of having to have a plan A and a plan B in terms of setups, and obviously you do a map of where all the stall holders are going to be and things like that, and then have to change it at the last minute. It's just not worth it. And obviously because we were also having the birds of prey, we wanted to have them have plenty of room outside without the stalls getting in the way. So we decided to have it inside. Actually, the stall holders themselves didn't mind that. Some people previously had said, even if you're going to do outside, we want to be inside. They either have paper goods that they don't want to blow away or get any condensation, or they just don't like the heat in general. We've gone through a real heat wave here in the UK. People are struggling with the heat. So we're in a building that is hundreds of years old. It is a medieval church. So it's very cool inside. So it's the place you want to be on a hot day. However, I did have quite a few members of the public coming up to me and going, why isn't it outside? And even when I explained, they still didn't fully get it. I think it's just people who don't know all the decisions you have to make into running an event. And it's not an easy decision. So I think one of the things that I've learned about running an event, you're never going to please everyone. And as a people pleaser, I find that really, really difficult. I want to please everyone. My husband has a thicker skin than I do, and he doesn't really worry. He knows that we, with the best of intentions, we made the best decision on all the information we're given. And other people just don't have all the information to hand, so they make quick judgments. But yeah, I really struggle with that. So if you're going to run an event, you need to grow a thick skin, because people are going to give advice, and sometimes you need to take it on board. But sometimes, actually, with the greatest will, they don't necessarily know what's best. Having said that, you know, last year we ran the event, I think it was 10 till 2 last year, whereas this year we ran it 10:30 till 3:30. So our big feedback last year was that we closed it at 2 and people were still coming in. And we had a bit of criticism for that. They said, you know, it should have gone on longer. So we did extend it this year to 3:30. Lo and behold, at 2 o'clock, it was dead. And stall holders then asked to pack up early. What are the chances? So sometimes you'll try and be obliging with the feedback, and it doesn't work. Similarly to last year, we ran the event at the same time as another event going on in the church. going on in the town. Last year it worked really, really well. It drew a lot of people, like footfall into the town, and then came down into the church for the fair afterwards. We made sure we had notices actually in the market town, in the high street, so people knew to come down, in addition to all the posters and stuff you saw me put up. We did the same this year, but we didn't get as nearly much of a footfall. Now, that could be the heat. People not want to walk around too much in the heat. But I think a lot of it is what I've said previously. I'm going to sound like a broken record with the previous online markets that I've done this year, and sales in general for small businesses. Well, not just small business, any business. People don't have the money to be spending. And I think people's spending habits have changed, are changing, have changed. People just don't have the money to be spending on kind of frivolous things, like things they don't really need. They're beautiful things. People put a lot of time into all of the handmade stuff that we had at the market. But people don't have the money to do that. So I think people's spending habits have changed. Having said that, we did make money. We did have a steady footfall day. It wasn't hordes of people, it wasn't crowds of people, but up till 2:00, there was always people milling around. And I would say a good portion of people did spend some money, probably not as much as they would have done in previous years, but they did spend. So overall, I think it was a good event. The birds of prey did really, really well. They weren't able to stay the whole time. These are rescued birds of prey. So they've come from really difficult circumstances, so they can't really be pushed very much to their limits, and nor would they. We need to look after the welfare of their birds. And it was hot. So they stayed till about 1:30. But it was great to have them there. It was great exposure for their charity. They had donations for people to hold the birds. They flew them around a little bit. It was a great attraction. So overall, I'm going to give you my stats now of how much we made and how things went. So in total, again, if you haven't watched my previous vlog, people have the option, if they want a table, they can either pay £15 a table. If they want 2 tables, it's £30, and they keep the profits. That's what I do. I pay for my table, and then I keep whatever money I make. However, if you want to raise money for the church, you don't pay anything for your table, and then you just donate whatever money you take to the church. We also supply the float for those stalls. So we booked 11 stalls in total. We kept it smaller for the summer fair. There's going to be more like 15 stalls already booked for our Christmas fair that they were holding in November, so it's going to be much busier. But for the summer one, we had 11 stalls booked. We had one stall holder not turn up. Now, we do give the option to prepay for your tables, or you can pay on the day. Now, obviously, that's a downside. We don't force people to pay in advance, so therefore we do open ourselves up to more kind of FTA's failure to attend. But we just had one, which isn't too bad in terms of, ratio. 5 of those stalls were raising money for the church. So we had the puzzle stall that was next to me. She had 2 tables. We had the cake stall. We had cream teas. We then have refreshments, and we also had like a pre-loved kind of bric-a-brac, a second-hand stall. I did also, I don't think I filmed it, but I did put out a couple of tables with some colouring and some craft for kids. Because if you would have seen last summer, we had like a race track, we had a petting zoo. Obviously, we had the birds of prey instead of the petting zoo this year. At Christmas, we have more kind of Christmas crafts and things. We always have something to attract all the family. I think we had a pebble hunt last summer as well. This year we didn't really have any activities as such in addition to the birds of prey, so I just put out a couple of tables with some colouring sheets, some stickers, and some scratch art for the kids. And actually quite a few kids just use that. Obviously the parents had to do paper parent supervision. There was nobody manning that stall, but it worked really well just to have something there. It didn't have to be manned, so that's something to bear in mind for next year. You don't have to use like a member of your team to do that, but it's good to have something there. Quite often it would be the dad sat with the kids and the mums would be going around doing the shopping. So we had 5 stalls raising money for the church. So we had 5 independent stalls, one of which wanted 2 tables. So she paid double. So in total, we made £90 just on stall fees. Again, all of that money is going to church. Me and my husband organise this event free of charge. We do it voluntarily, so we don't get any of that money. But obviously, if you were organising your own event, you'd be having that come to you. But obviously, you'd have to pay for venue hire and things. And then on top of that, so that money raised from those stalls that were raised money for the church, we haven't totted it up totally because obviously this is only the day after the event, but we reckon we raised about £500 for the church, which is incredible. So that was, like I said, through the selling of puzzles, cakes, refreshments. So at our Christmas markets, we always cook bacon rolls. At our summer markets, we have cream teas. So scones, clotted cream and jam went down really, really well. And then we had some tables and chairs dotted around so you could have teas and coffees as well. Teas and coffees were just by donation. We weren't charging it was pennies for those. So we didn't make much on that stall, but I think it's great to just offer something really cheap. Again, not everyone has the money. It just created a nice little buzz in the corner with people sitting and having conversations. And at the end of the day, this is also what it's about. It's a community event. So that was really, really good. Now, me personally on my stall, normally I have 2 tables. So obviously 2 tables, it is extra cost, extra outlay. Normally I pay £30, but obviously this year I only paid 15. Obviously the downside is I don't have as much stock to sell and I don't have as much variety. So it's really hard to gauge whether or not I did worse or better than previous years. I think we worked out in ratio I did better, but it looks worse on paper because I only had 1 table and less stock, if you know what I mean. But in terms of how much I paid for the table and how much I made, the ratio is better. So I had 1 table, I made 19 sales, 19 sales. I took £56 in total, minus the £15 for the table. That means £41 profit, which, considering I didn't take any of my stationery this time, I had a real mismatch of stuff on my stall. And it's because I'm in the process of opening up a new online market platform on Kingdom Marketplace. There's going to be a whole vlog on that coming, so stay tuned for that. So I'm splitting my stock between Etsy and Kingdom Marketplace. And to be honest, because I have to work out my stock quantities on the 2 platforms, I didn't want to then take stuff to the market as well. So I had art prints that had already been printed that I'm not putting online. And I had other craft that I'd made. I'd had the lino prints that we did together, the lino prints based on the church window in the church where we were holding the market. I don't think I chatted to you. If you watched my previous studio vlog where we started the lino prints, I obviously told you about the inspiration, but I think when I started off this vlog, I didn't actually tell you why I was putting those butterflies on those lino prints. So if you hadn't watched that previous vlog, you're probably you didn't get the backstory, you didn't know what I was doing. But go back and watch where I started that project so you'll get the backstory of why I was doing that. But it's based on the window in the church where I was holding it. I had art prints and also greeting cards, 3 different kind of colours of greeting cards, like a white card, an ivory card, and like a craft paper card, like the brown card. The greetings cards went really, really well. I sold 7 of those. I had 12 in total, so I sold 7. So I just got 5 left. I'm going to take them to the Christmas market again. I only sold 1 of the 8x8 lino print art prints. That's fine. I could take them to Christmas as well. Absolutely fine. I also had acrylic bookmarks that I made. I don't think I filmed me making those, but they were beautiful acrylic bookmarks with some flower designs on them. I only made 4. They had coloured tassels on them. I only took 4 and I sold all 4. They've all gone, which is amazing. And they had some actually I found it in my mum's, it was my wardrobe at my mum's house. So I made it whilst I still lived at home. So years and years ago, pre-being married, some candles in cups, china cups and saucers. My mum found them. I thought, do you know what? I'll try selling them. They didn't sell, so that's fine. They've gone in the bin. I'm not hanging on to stock like that. But I thought it was worth giving them a last hurrah. I had some fairy light bottles. I sold 1 of those. What else did I sell? I didn't sell any of my A4 art prints, but I sold 6 A5 art prints. So the A5 art prints went really, really well. So yeah, so that was the lowdown of my stats. I made £56, but 41 once you take out the £15 for the table. Not too shabby for a day's work. It's not massive numbers. It's a small craft fair in the Somerset countryside. It's never going to be massive, but we made £500, over £500, £590 for our church. I made £41 profit for my small business. And now that's going to go into funding, well, kind of boring stuff actually for my small business. I've run out of hardbacked envelopes. I've run out of kind of like the paper bags. It is going to fund some new metal bookmarks that I am making. I'm going to be making that in my next vlog. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button, because I have a new idea that I'm going to be making in the next vlog. And that's going to be coming to Kingdom Marketplace exclusively. So yeah, I made some good money from my small business that I wouldn't have made otherwise. So it was fun. So we're going to be doing it all again in November for our Christmas market. But we have then made the decision that next year we will be handing it over to somebody else. I don't know who's going to pick up the gauntlet to try and run an event after us. But we've decided, actually, do you know what? We've done it it'll be 2 years. It's time to let somebody else have a go, because I actually have some other ideas that I want to try. And I've realised I'm not a superwoman. I can't do it all. My little boy is also starting preschool. Our lives are changing slightly. So we have some exciting new things coming in place of that. I'm going to talk to you more about it in my next vlog. I'm sorry to leave it on a bit of a cliffhanger, but my small business, we've been talking about kind of pivoting the business all year. But what I thought pivoting the business looked like at the start of the year has done a complete, I wouldn't say 180, but it's completely changed. We're going in a whole new direction, and I can't wait to show you and tell you about it. But I'm going to leave that for the next vlog. But because of that, we have decided that we're going to not run our own craft fairs in future years. We may well take part if somebody decides to take it on. We may well take part in a slightly different format. And if I do, I'll bring you along. But we are going to be doing slightly different events, I think. I'm not going to say too much now, but whatever I do, I will take you along, because that is what this channel is all about. So with that being said, I will see you in the next one, where we will unpack all of that information more fully. Have a good one. I will see you next one. God bless. Love you.